Hello. FlatZoid FE has the honour of being the only person so far to be on the MAGE Rage list twice. He's hoping to keep that record. He's going to have another attempt. A fine list of people are my wonderful patrons, and a big shout out as well to all my lovely members. I want to give massive thanks to all of my supporting members and patrons. Thank you all so very much. Well, once again we've got a lot to get through, so we better crack on. Okay, FlatZoid, roll VT. Okay, we're going to bang through FlatZoid's video because that's all it's worth. But please watch it to the end. He's going to get smashed. Commentary Mage Part 2, but it's actually about the fifth video. FlatZoid's going to bring a little more to the table than he did previously. Otherwise, he could have the honour of being the first to be on the MAGE Rage list twice. He didn't bring anything more to the table, and he did have the honour of being first on the MAGE Rage list twice. Excuse my mic, the reason I don't really talk. Actually, that's a good point. Remember that. He doesn't talk in his videos. All we get is these captions. We'll need that later on. Carry on then.
Rage Mage list. Yes, okay, so some of you think I'm raging because you proved a flat earth with Mage.
Not really. I failed to see a flat earth proven. In fact, exactly the opposite. But you've not shown any evidence for a flat earth, nor have you shown that I have actually shown it as a flat earth. You've just made some wild claims. Carry on. Let's see. Go ahead, FlatZoid. Roll VT. FlatZoid doesn't start speaking until a little way into the video, so I'm just going to mute out the music.
Speaking, I didn't say a word on this video. I did, however, type, but let's see what he says.
You do seem to get all tied up and picky about words. Okay, you didn't speak, but you didn't comment either. There was nothing, so I wasn't going to play some random music with all the worries about copyright. Forget it. I said you didn't speak. Okay, you didn't comment. Let's carry on. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in attempt number 2. So Mr. Sensible didn't like my video much. Well, you put this video out within 24 hours of the previous one, so I didn't have much chance to respond. I did respond in your comment saying you've done the wrong video.
Didn't have time to respond, but then you said you just responded. There you go. You could have typed it out, but doublespeak is your aim.
That's not doublespeak. My life does not revolve, although I do spend quite a bit of time, but my life does not revolve around satisfying you in your comment section. When I'm talking about responding, if you've done a video, then it's for me to respond like this with a video. That takes more than 5 minutes. That's what I'm talking about. However, what I did do is meanwhile put a comment in a video. You've got such a hang up about words. Unfortunately, you actually don't seem to understand the meaning of them, as we shall see. So from that point of view, no, I didn't like your video much. Hasn't addressed anything in my video because it was within 24 hours. I have a life. Yes, I did type a response. Instead, this is what he says. Okay, my comments. See, FlatZoid FE then tackle the experiment video then. The minimal distortion in the non-distorting narrow lens supports and shows the curve. Do a debunk video on that.
An experiment. You do know Mage is not an experiment. It's not science at all. It is, however, a demonstration. I suggest you learn what science is.
Well, you can call it what the hell you want. Demonstration, observation, science. I don't care. The point is I sent up a balloon and I videoed the curve of the Earth. You have not debunked it. You have not sent up something to show, whether you call it an observation, experiment or demonstration. You have not sent up a balloon to show it's flat. Until you have, I suggest you hold back on that sort of comment and criticising other people's efforts, because you have put in none. I am more than open to it. I encourage it. My doublespeak comment, okay. distortion supports the curve. You didn't watch the video.
Didn't watch the video, but somehow I've been doing debunk videos of it and actually having footage of the video on.
No, you looked at the wrong bloody video. In the experimental video, I explained about distortion. I explained about what you could actually see and how that was despite the distortion. You didn't watch the video. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. You are making yourself look stupid. That is not an ad hom, which you also keep flinging around. I'm not saying you're stupid, so you're wrong. I'm saying you're wrong. And the fact that you keep making videos, as I said, 5+ mirrors someone else's, just shows you're stupid as well, because you keep being shown to be wrong. You keep being told how you're wrong, but you don't understand it. And yeah, I'm feeling a bit salty about this.
Very logical.
Yes, it's a narrow lens camera. It's a non-distorting lens, but even a non-distorting lens will have some distortion. I was honest enough to show that distortion. And yes, that distortion, as you would know if you actually watched my video, helped prove that the curve that was apparent was real.
The curve that was apparent was real.
Yes, and I saw you did a 30-second video using that clip. The curve that was apparent was real. We got an image of something that appears to be a curve. Due to the other evidence, i.e. the fact that's against distortion, that shows it was real. You apparently can speak English, but I guess that's not the case, because you can't understand bloody words, can you?
So, it's physical or is it optical? Can you make up your mind, because they mean two different things?
It's an optical image of a physical shape of the Earth. Okay? There is some distortion, so looking at that optical image, you could doubt whether that is the true physical shape. When you take the distortion into account, which would make it look flat, make a flat look concave, then the fact it's actually convex supports the fact that it really is that shape. This is the last time I'm going to address this, because it is stupid. It wasn't stupid to raise it the first time, that's fine, but when it's been explained numerous times about barrel distortion and how the curve that is shown goes the opposite way to the barrel distortion, and you still don't get it, then it's one of two things. Either I'm afraid you do not have the capability of understanding it, and I'm not saying that, or you're being willfully dishonest. Either way, I'm not going to spend any more time on that. We'll come back to that. It would have been a good idea if you actually watched and understood the video before you tried to debunk it, wouldn't it? How can an optical observation with distortion support anything? If only you'd watched. Is your horizon physical? Look, the horizon is not a physical place. You can't walk over to the horizon and stick a flag in it.
Correct. It's not physical. It's optical.
So if the horizon is over near that hill over there, you're saying that that's just an optical effect. You can't walk over to that hill. The horizon is physical place in that if I'm stood here, if I watch someone go to the horizon, I will be able to see, if they're large enough, when they are at that horizon, at a physical location. But if I try and walk over to it, it's not like the edge of a plate or something. It's not that sort of physical location, because it changes dependent on the observer, on their height and location and so on. You just don't get it, do you?
But you claiming it proves a physical curve. Do you understand your contradiction?
All the horizon is a point, an apparent point beyond which you can't see. It's as simple as that. Yes, apparent, not physical. Well, there's an apparent location, like for instance over there, far across those fields by the tree, there's the horizon. It's a physical place, a physical location, but if I move forward a couple hundred yards, that horizon moves, apparently. And it's no longer by that tree across the fields. It's over by those hedges a little further on. So it's an apparent location and it's a physical location at the same time. If you move forward, the horizon moves forward. Move back, the horizon moves back.
Listen
move
to him.
higher, the horizon moves further away. Move lower, it moves closer.
He might be
towards you.
small, but he's right.
It's not a difficult concept.
It isn't.
So let's see
Apparently
what
it
you
is.
got then. Already your data is debunked. I would beg to differ. No matter, let me teach you something about distortion. If only you'd watched what I said about distortion in
That's
the
what
video.
I keep telling him.
Yes, the main MAGE camera is a 90-degree camera, the Firefly 8 SE. Yes. And this is the 8S. Different camera, same lens. I checked it out. That is correct. Although actually it isn't. It does state that on the internet, so I'm not going to hold that against you. But apparently over the course of production, or as a various option, there are different lenses. The one you do have is a 170-degree lens. I have been told by someone who's able to compare what it looks like to the 90-degree. But no matter, that, I'm not going to hold that against you because, as I said, I researched and it seemed to say the same thing. And see the curve. No, FlatZoid, don't say it. Just do not say it.
Ow! Ow!
Yes, all lenses are curved. If that lens was not curved, it would be a sheet of glass. It would be like a window. It wouldn't do a lens's job to gather and focus the rays of light. So from what you are hinting there, what we can see, where we see curvature, is because the lens is curved. That means that you cannot take any photo of any straight object because it's going to look bent. I can't believe you. You are a total...
He is.
The word hasn't been invented for what you are, but you are one, and a total one at that.
True.
So instead of actually rebutting the argument, you rather want to try and ad hom me, and then later on we're going to see you anyway validating what I've said by trying to tell me I'm stupid by still validating everything I've just said. Dunning-Kruger at its best.
Look, you're not wrong about this because you're stupid. You are wrong about this, and you are stupid. Lenses have to be curved. That's how they work. The fact that they are curved does not mean that any image we see that looks like that is because of distortion. It was humour, not an ad hom. It's a quote from a TV series because, you've done, well, this is 5 videos now plus a mirror, as I said, and you still don't get it. So I used a comedic quote.
I have to tell you.
Of course lenses are curved. That's how they work. That doesn't mean your image is going to be absolutely useless. Distortion is known about. There we go. You said it will be useless if you're making physical claims from it. What? Physical claims from a curved lens? That's not true. Otherwise, as I said, you cannot provide any photograph and use it as evidence because the lens was curved. That is patently ridiculous, untrue, and stupid. So, it wasn't an ad hom. I'm saying that the fact the lens is curved is not a problem. It has to be. Understood. You have a fisheye lens, you've got massive distortion. A wide angle lens, you've got less distortion. Narrow angle, less still. Down to rectilinear lenses, and I believe even they may suffer a slight amount of distortion. However, the manufacturers of these cameras and lenses provide software so that you can undistort any distortion that those lenses introduce into an image. So do feel free to take any images from my unedited and unprocessed video and run it through the software to undistort it so that you get the reference lines, string lines again appearing straight, because I've not manipulated the data. I have provided raw data. And of course, I don't think you'll do that, because if you do, you will be unhappy with what you see, because the curve will look even greater. So what? Otherwise, well, what you're saying is you have to rule out any photograph of anything ever.
I said
now
that.
This is where FlatZoid decides to talk a bit. I think you need to listen for a few seconds. Yeah, I said talk a bit because I assume that was you. How am I to know it's not? How am I to know that you put 7 odd minutes of somebody else's video in the middle of your alleged debunk of mine, didn't credit them, didn't even state that it was someone else's video? So yeah, I assumed it was you. Big deal.
Here this afternoon, and I decided to do a quick video on a camera's field of view.
It's Alvin and the bloody chipmunk.
Classical observation tactics here. As you can see, he's going to try and just way past this without actually showing why this is shown.
No, I'm going past it because it's 7 minutes of crap. I was too polite. I thought it was you. I was too polite to say how stupid this was. He's presenting us there with a set square, a 90-degree angle, yes? At the far end, he's got it labelled 90 through to 0 in the middle, through to 90 on the other side. A total of 180. So apparently, in flurfonomics, or flurfometry, or whatever you call it, there's 180 degrees in a quarter of a circle. So yeah, I skipped past it. We know there's distortion on the lens, but despite that distortion, you can still see the curve. And in fact, as I said, that curve that you can apparently see is actually confirmed, because the distortion distorts to make the things look flatter, but it's curved. If you watch the video and try to understand, then you might have chance of making a valid debunk point, but you haven't, and you haven't.
And FYI, Mr. Sensible, you can clearly hear I'm a South African.
But you already said earlier on that you don't talk on your videos because of your mic. So how the bloody hell am I supposed to know that you're a South African, eh? And that was Alvin and the Chipmunks. How am I supposed to tell that's American? Who cares? You should have said this is someone's video. Then there wouldn't have been a problem, would there? I know I'm getting salty. Stupidity starts to annoy me after a while.
It is an American. You really don't know what you're talking about.
Well, have you been breathing helium?
Now my one camera, Sony CX110.
Right, we don't need to listen to this. We know that the camera is a narrow angle lensed camera. No, it's not that we don't need to listen to this because it destroys my argument. I gave a link to your video. If anyone wants to watch the full 7 odd minutes of this guy waffling in a chipmunk voice about 180 degree set squares, they're quite welcome to. I hid nothing. I had a look. You haven't provided a link to my video if anyone wanted to see the original, have you? Is that because if they actually go and look at the MAGE experiment, it would destroy your argument, perchance? We know that there is some slight distortion. Hell, I even show it. However, the distortion, as I said earlier, actually helps prove that what we see is a real curve.
I suggest listening to your sentence again. You are claiming a distortion is proving a physical curve.
Right. For the last and final time with you, FlatZoid, okay? Either the Earth is flat, like you say, or it's curved, like we say, okay? Barrel distortion, bottom of the lens, makes things bow down. So your flat Earth will look like that. Simple, eh? A curved Earth would be also pushed downwards to a greater or lesser extent. What we actually saw was the curved Earth pushed down, but it was still curved. There is no way your flat Earth gets bowed up when the distortion is down. Therefore, that distortion, that downwards distortion, and yet still showing an upwards curve, supports that the Earth is not flat. I suggest you go back, listen to that sentence, write it down, study it carefully, watch the original video, and then shut up. Unless you actually then come up with a valid argument against it, but right now you haven't.
That's just stupid.
I know, but you keep on doing it. If only you had watched the bloody video. So let's skip on and see what else you got to say. Yeah, there I go. It's not that I'm not showing something. People can go to the original link, and I'll be linking to this video of yours. Nothing is hidden by me.
Little pop-up chart
More
here.
Alvin. And look, there, nice clear shot. You can see that 0 is slap bang in the middle of the far side of that square, and he's got it labelled to the left and right, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, through to 90 on each side. 180 degrees in 180 degrees in a 90 degree set square, apparently.
Which
Alvin.
I can set my camera.
Alvin.
Side.
Alvin.
Alright.
Alvin.
Which I took the wide angle lens off.
He's still waffling on about lenses. Yes, lenses. No, the topic at hand is MAGE, and you've not addressed it. You have not shown why MAGE does not show a curved earth. You've just said lenses distort, and what you see is optical. Yes, they distort. Yes, what you see is optical, but it's an optical image of a physical thing. We understand the distortion, take the distortion into account, and it's a curved earth. And you are going to get so busted at the end of this video. I do hope people manage to hang on and survive through this derp to see you get your ass handed to you. Again.
Basically, they have
lenses.
to have
Come on.
lens has to correct. So a 90-degree lens.
So we get to 8 minutes in a 9-minute 22-second video, and you still yet haven't actually shown any of MAGE.
Well, I had to lay the foundation to show how lenses work and why it's distortion and optical and not physical, but all you do is obfuscate and actually don't show what I've been presenting.
Well, you didn't present anything, did you? You played somebody else's video and just palmed it off as your own. So as I said, 7 minutes of that, and right at the end you show, I think, about 12 images from MAGE, all of which were cherry picked to be images that go across at angles. I think actually all apart from maybe one, thereby negating the whole bloody point of the experiment, which is to put up a camera with a lens that distorts absolutely minimal and should have the imagery taken across the centre. Instead, you use diagonals, so it goes from distorted area to distorted area. That is dishonesty. I'm going to have to speed this up because I do want to get to what you say at the end.
Which is actually very dishonest, don't you think?
Well, you would know all about that.
I think your fans should actually have a gander at what I actually showed.
You spent about, let's see, 7 minutes. Well, while I'm talking, yeah, my fans, go and have a look, and do feel free to comment about it. Talked about in my video. So what I'm going to do is let you finish the rest of this video, and then I'm going to show you why you're a total knob socket. Yeah, well, you're a total knob socket because, not because you're wrong about flat or globe earth, but because you have cherry picked, because you have misunderstood and misrepresented. Anyone wants to see that, they can go back and have a look at my previous FlatZoid video, because I want to get to the end where apparently you're going to hand my arse to me, but you're going to get it handed right back. I'm going to mute this area. Talk about dishonest. You're a couple lead shots from, but again, as the image is an upside down image, that helps accentuate the curve. Strange colours you chose for this. It will accentuate the curve, and I can definitely see a little X with distortion into a bowl shape. And I give a whole load of explanation about barrel distortion, etc. Anyone can go back and have a look at that. I suggest FlatZoid you do, but I do want to get right to, I think it's about here. This is a MAGE image across the non-distorted centre with a beautiful curve in view, and you're going to show us why it's flat. and then you'll do the same with one that's below. This is going to be sweet. In actuality, those strings are dead straight. They're spring-loaded, taut lines. However, and as I said in the video, you can see a slight distortion in them. The yellow one has the very slightest bulge upward, and the black one a slightly more bulge downwards.
Clear
This is
explanation.
because of the barrel distortion. It was acknowledged in the video. However, the closer you get to the centre, the less distortion there is. Look at that horizon, pretty much across the middle. We've got a curve, haven't we just? Oh, no I haven't. Look how easy it is to debunk your dishonesty. Actually, that's one thing I really want to pick you up on. You have accused me of lying and being dishonest, left, right and centre. I have not, and I do not lie. I could be mistaken about something, and if a mistake is pointed out to me, I will hold my hands up and admit it. Point in case, it wasn't an actual mistake, but someone pointed out yesterday, it was Brian's Logic, pointed out that the temperature data appeared to be too high. I came up with some possible explanations for it, but I admitted on video that it didn't match what was expected. That is honesty. I am not dishonest. I do not like that. I hope, since you're accusing me of dishonesty, you said that you're going to show easily how you can debunk me. Okay? When I show in a few seconds that you are wrong, I expect you to put out a video and say you were wrong. Mr. S has shown an image with curve. Let's see you prove the Earth is flat. So what you need to do first, oh bloody dear, just look at that. Let me see if I can resize it a bit. Now what we've got at each end, we've got an area of dark. In the middle, that line touches the horizon. How can that be? That light green line is straight. The horizon does not follow it. You have just shown a nice image, thanks for processing it, a nice image with curvature. But I believe you're going to do a second one as well. You can see on the left hand end, so that end over there, you can see black sky under that green line. In the middle, that green line touches. Towards the right, it is harder to see on this one, but towards the right, that green line is just above. Again, you have shown that there is a curve, and that's in the bottom of the screen where barrel lens distortion makes things look flatter. So how would your flat Earth, if it's being pushed downwards, have gone upwards? You have just busted yourself. You are a total chuff nugget. This will be my last response on video to you. The one thing I will offer you is the option, as I have posted in your comments, to come on a live stream debate. I will have a polite chat with you about it, although you've already called me a coward after I invited you. Go figure. So email me, mr-sensible@hotmail.com, FlatZoid, and I will sit and chat with you about this. Okay? And, oh, what's that you're claiming?
I'm a South African. You can clearly hear I'm a South African.
Diplomatic community.
It's just been revoked.
Oh dear. I am sure that South Africa is an excellent country filled with many, many very fine people. Unfortunately, FlatZoid, being a South African is not enough to give you immunity from being called an idiot if you keep showing yourself up to be an idiot. You have been told to watch and deal with the actual MAGE experimental video. If you have any questions, do feel free to contact me. But if you continue to pump out derp videos like you have, I'm afraid that myself and other people will call you out on it. Now, you are welcome, if you wish, to join me on one of my live streams. You can email me, mr-sensible@hotmail.com. You'll be welcome. We'll have a civil conversation. I hope you'll take me up on that offer. Until next time, stay sensible.
Shut up and sit down.